Hey, this is Tyler from MK Machining at SHOT Show 2025. Many of you know us for our bullpup. Many of you know us for our printing. Many of you may know us for our upcoming metal printing. This video is to give you a little bit more clarity on what we do. The bullpup was the foundation of the company, and the printing came along the way originally to fund some R&D for the chassis. Now we have a world-class print shop and cater to a lot of folks in the industry as well as retail our own products. So one of the first printed categories of products that we came out with were optics accessories. We have continued to expand and innovate in that fairly niche sector, but not as niche as many folks think. Something that we're going to show you here that's new for SHOT Show, and it will be released soon, is what we were originally going to call a billet turret magnifier. When someone asked us a few years to produce a magnifier for their turret, we thought that was frankly perhaps a joke, but it definitely wasn't, and I totally see the use case scenario for that now. So we have tried to expand upon that line. We would have a lot of folks that would be running, one little magnifier for their elevation turret, another for their windage, and then they'd have a level. With modern optics getting shorter and modern mounts getting beefier, you have extremely limited scope tube space. So now we have this crazy looking doodad that was originally going to be a billet turret magnifier, but it's kind of expanded a little bit beyond that. So now it's a modular scope accessory chassis system, I suppose, but it's essentially, in its most basic form, a clamp that goes on your scope with various mounting surfaces. We've worked hard to have some recoil lugs in here, proper modularity to work with all scope tube sizes, etc. And definitely just a magnifier and a level will not be the only little accessories we make for this system. Of course, many folks are familiar with our caps. These are actually our highest revenue driver, which is kind of crazy. We make them a precise fit for essentially every optic on the market. All we need is an accurate diameter measurement, and we can make any scope cap you may desire. We will have integrated ARD caps coming out soon. So we've had ARDs that interface with our caps previously, but to integrate that all in one, we will come in at a price point significantly below other options. So these scope caps, they are made from nylon 11. Michael behind the camera was talking about the snap and the crispness of that. Nylon 11 is what allows us to do that versus, say, nylon 12, which is a much more commonly printed material. We are one of the leaders in MJF printing, which stands for multi-jet fusion. It's a powder bed fusion technology, but not SLS, hundreds of times faster. Nylon 11 is our specialty. We print more of it than any other shop in the world, and it has a more durable set of mechanical properties for these snap fit interfaces. Another thing on this optic you'll see is a slightly trimmed down version of the billet turret magnifier, as well as Rev 5 throw levers. That will be coming sometime later this year. We have hundreds of models, so it takes a while to update everything. There's nothing world-changing about this, but it's a continued evolution of the design with interchangeable texture, snap-in pieces, doodads, components, whatever you want to call them, and generally just a continually refined design. As we stay on this side of the table, we have a really cool machine in-house. It's called a Mamaki. The print method is 3D UJ. It's an interesting method that technically is resin, but doesn't work like conventional resin machines. This is as printed. All the colors and the clear are done at the same time, so it's a pretty novel technology. It's not cheap, but it has novel applications as well. This is an example of what we had hoped to be crystal clear, but we had a little modeling issue. And then a realistic looking Beretta 92 on the other side. Another fairly recent product in that optic accessory line, XLP levels. So this design only takes up less than 1/3 of an inch of scope tube space. Super efficient and simple clamp design, 1 bolt to tighten. Your level vial is highly protected. You have a compression spring in here, so you can make sure it's very accurately aligned with your little indicator. Again, a simple design, but priced right, and that's way above its price range. Grips super popular. We work on these with Driven Arms Co. Of course, Brett is a fantastic designer. Here's an AK version of the SCG, VCGL, which is a little more precision oriented. ULCGs right here, which are for your compact, lightweight, fast-moving rifle. We will be coming out with, these will be limited edition grips. This is just examples of the possibility with MJF 580 technology. So you have full color capabilities with durable parts. The downside, they're not cheap. They never will be cheap. It's not a good fit for mass production, but it is a good fit for limited runs of, I would say, user-driven design or customer-driven design choices. So you want Arizona green tea camo? Sweet, we can do that. You want Lipton unsweet tea camo? We can also do that. So we're gonna depend upon you for these limited runs. ARDs, that's dead simple, of course. You can run them with a cap or without, or get the integrated caps. Now, not last, but also certainly not least, DMLS technology. So printing cans via direct metal laser sintering is never going to be as cheap as conventional manufacturing, but you can do geometry, or you can create, manufacture, however you want to call it, geometry that you could not with conventional manufacturing. So this is just a little demo of the complexities offered. You can have ports that feed gas back into a sidewall, which is spinning around for a low back pressure, high flow design that performs well. So currently we have 17.4 stainless in-house, multiple machines. Shortly after the show, we will be getting a titanium machine and an Inconel machine installed. We'll have 4 DMLS machines running by the time we get back from IWA, which is kind of European SHOT Show in Germany. Hopefully end of Q1, beginning of Q2. There's much more to show about this technology. One thing with the printing component, we always try and be extremely transparent. We have found a lot of either printer manufacturers or printing service bureaus overpromise and underdeliver is common in that industry. We try and do the opposite, along with work with customers for DFAM, design for additive manufacturing, optimize their designs, let them know if something is possible, or perhaps if what they currently have isn't possible, how to make it possible. Now let's move into the Bullpup. The Mark 2.6, we've continually iterated this design for a while. It's what the company was founded around, and we've again had a divergent path with continually iterating and optimizing the Bullpup while blowing up in the printing space, which is really cool. But this Bullpup is basically for anyone who wants a compact precision rifle. It has a good trigger, not a good trigger for a Bullpup, just a good trigger. We've worked really hard on that. So this Tikka is a 2-stage design. I think even from this far out shot, you'll be able to see the crispness of that trigger. The Remington models are a single stage trigger. So again, this is the Mark 2.6. We've shaved a few ounces off the 2.5 and a few small internal design tweaks. I think we've probably optimized this overall design as far as we can, and the next will have to be a Mark III, but I'm very pleased with how this has turned out. Along with chassis optimizations themselves, we will be producing full rifles with Curtis actions. They have a new lightweight Hunter hybrid Gen 2 that I really like, that I think we'll build off of. But this is pretty neat. No firing assembly here. This is a final pre-production prototype. But you have this little bolt extension right here, which looks simple because it is, but it makes a big difference in the ergonomics. Again, this is for somebody wanting a compact precision rifle, not for somebody that wants a precision rifle with rapid follow-up shots, not for somebody that wants a PRS rig. But that being said, ergonomics are important. This is a way to improve that, so you can really easily keep your cheek down while operating the bolt. What's awesome about the Bullpup design is balance. You simply couldn't do that even with a 16-inch precision rifle rig, let alone a 28-inch precision rifle rig. So this is, you know, a little bit forward weighted, but the fact that you can hold the rifle by the grip, it's awesome. It would be significantly front heavy and extremely long with this setup, not on a Bullpup. With the Remingtons, single stage trigger, nice and crisp. It's a custom trigger by Timney on both the Tikka and Remington models, and I'm just really pleased with how the trigger feels. that was surprisingly the easiest part of this project. The rest was trying to compactify the design around the linkage and shave off all the weight. Thank you for looking at our wares. We look forward to knocking out parts for you, and hope you enjoyed SHOT 2025.